Okay, we're recording.
Hey there, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Candace.
I'm Melissa.
Melissa. So we're going to talk about hormones for all of us ladies. So let's just dive in and start giving you all the information. Our bodies, a lot of people, I think, just think, oh, we really only are dealing with hormones like whenever, we're young and start your cycle, or when you're pregnant, or when you're going through menopause or something like that. We just kind of think of it as stages of our life, but really hormones affect many different areas of our lives, and we oftentimes may think of it as more of a emotional type of thing, which is, yes, it does affect, but there are so many other things in many different ways that it affects our bodies, our minds, our emotions. So we want to dive into that and talk about that a little bit. And I'll just share like a little personal tidbit of me going through dealing with excessive amounts of stress, which I think all of us go through in many different ways. And so it's just kind of the go, go, go way of life that we have, especially when we have kids, with school, with after school activities, with working, and that doesn't really give your body a chance to slow down. And so you can deal with high levels of cortisol, and high levels of cortisol can leave you feeling fatigued constantly. Like you feel like you get a good night's rest, but then you wake up and within an hour you're tired. And then, you're just feeling super drained and all of that kind of stuff. Well, cortisol is our fight or flight hormone, and causes you to store excess belly fat. That's what it's specifically associated with. And then it keeps you from getting a really good rest as well if it's elevated when you're supposed to be going to sleep at night. And then what it also does is then it's supposed to increase as you're waking up. That's kind of what wakes us up in the mornings. And if it's the opposite of that, then you're feeling like you're having to drag yourself out of bed. It's not easy to get up in the mornings. So those are some things that I personally was dealing with. And I had to deal with, your endocrine system involves your adrenal glands. And so my adrenals were fatigued. So addressing those things, and within the matter of weeks, I was feeling better. And so we're going to go over all the different things that you can do and talk about those things.
Some of the things too that can cause it can be like a trauma. And so personally, I'm 52 and gone through finishing up, I guess, menopause. Yay. And so they were probably a little bit, off anyway, but just stress and grief and trauma. And things can happen that can also derail. So I'm coming back through a season now where I was just telling Candace before we did this, we're in the middle of a 30-day kind of reset, I guess.
Cleanse, detox the body.
Which I do a lot of cleansing normally. I run through different protocols, different seasons of cleansing just all the time anyway. But this has been kind of taking it to a different level. And I'm doing some other stuff because that's one of the things I noticed. I was telling her, like, I've noticed the brain fog is back. I'm sleeping and I'm tired a lot, but I'm not getting that good restful sleep. So I've doing things that help my body produce melatonin naturally and increase that. And also we'll talk about the cortisol and stuff that helps lower your cortisol. But even knowing this, I can tell and feel how my hormones have kind of, derailed.
Right.
And those are some of the things I've noticed, feeling more bloated, feeling forgetful, walking out of the room. And, and I've got rabbit trail brain a lot anyway, but I will be walking down the room, forget what I'm doing. And then an hour later, I've done laundry, I've cleaned the kitchen, or I've done something. And I'm like, well, why was I in here anyway?
Yeah.
It's just, and I can be that way normally, but it's like to the extreme. So doing things that just kind of help reset your body and cleanse it and support those things naturally have, long-term benefits.
Right. So, like always, we want to talk to you about the things that you're using. So you want to research that. Just know that Young Living, even with the supplements we're going to talk about, are process, is plant-based products from seed to seal. And what that means basically is that Young Living starts with the best seeds from the plants as they're harvesting them. They use no harmful chemicals whatsoever, no pesticides, no preservatives. The oils in the supplements actually act as a natural preservative. And the oils in the supplements also increase your absorption and assimilation within the body. That means that it's breaking down in your body and your body is absorbing it, unlike a lot of stuff that you buy in the big box stores that don't actually break down in the body. So you're just basically excreting them into the toilet.
And they also activate compounds in the oils, the plants themselves, and the supplements that you wouldn't get otherwise. So you get a whole nother level of cellular benefit from products that have the oils in them. So it really opens the door for a lot of different benefits that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Right. So just looking at the quality, top-notch effectiveness of each product, knowing what the seed to seal process means with Young Living as well. They distill everything on site, package everything on site, test the products before,
in-house and out-of-house.
Yeah, third-party testing as well as in-house testing to make sure it meets the standards that they have, which in my opinion is way higher than what the USDA organic seal means.
Well, it's not just our opinion. I mean, it is. I mean, they have a over $3 million lab. I mean, you and I both toured the warehouse and the lab and the distribution and all that. And if you ever go to Utah and have the chance to do the tour of corporate and then also the warehouse, you can see their lab and the steps that they go through. It's actually really impressive what they do, and they give you a lot of really good information on what they do with their products.
So
oops. Oh, there.
As we're going through,
I should have been changing this already.
Okay. We're talking about safety and usage. So safety as far as like internal use with supplements or particular oils that are vitality labels. On the supplements, it's listed for you to follow the usage as labeled. Like if, for example, it says take 2 before bedtime, or take 2 in the morning before your first meal, you're going to follow those guidelines, and then you can use the oils topically. So we're going to talk about oils that you can use for helping to balance the body, help to balance your hormones and everything. So you can apply them directly onto your skin. I will mention that, whenever we're talking about the female reproductive system, if you do the inside of your heel, that is the female reproductive organs. So you can apply there. That doesn't mean you have to. You can also smell the oils to receive benefits. So you can put them in the diffuser. You can put them in your hands, and you can cup your hands over your nose and your mouth and smell. You can smell it directly from the bottle. There's no wrong or right way. Missing a word there to do it. So Melissa can
one of the things I'm because I've been doing some aggressive cleansing and stuff, I'm really fighting a headache today, and that's what I was telling Candace. But one of the things, I've been inhaling, I'll do to the roof of the mouth, I'll put it on my thumb and go to the roof of my mouth. And then one of the things, I just wait till I can feel it. And I'm probably gonna get 10 drops, and I'll do it right here on the crown of my head. Now these are not oily; they're not gonna make your hair greasy unless they've got a carrier or something in them. But where your skull sutures are is a good place. I do that a lot. And then I will, and this is frankincense that I'm using, which I use for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in doubt and you don't know what to use, you can always use frankincense. Like she was saying, inhale from the hands, inhale from the bottle, which y'all saw me do that before. But
and then supplements or so the solid colored labels, these are typically, for topical use, aromatic use. The white colored labels are the vitality. Those are dietary use, taking internally. But just know that the oil inside the bottles, whether it's a colored label or a white label, is the same exact oil inside the bottle. It's not different.
Yeah.
So what you have at home, you can use as you need to. All right. So let's go over what hormones are. You guys can kind of look at the slide as well. So in order to understand the body and its needs, it's helpful to understand how your body works. So a healthy endocrine system also equals healthy moods, healthy skin, bowels, and more. So the endocrine system is comprised, I'm just full of whatever I'm trying to say today. It's comprised or makes up of all the glands in your body that produce your hormones, which include your thyroid, your pancreas, and your ovaries for women. Hormones are like little chemical messengers in your body that regulate your metabolism, your growth and development, your tissue function, your sexual function, your reproduction, your sleep, as well as your moods. So the messengers are produced by the glands and secreted directly into the circulatory system that achieve homeostasis. Homeostasis is basically your body being completely in balance.
And one thing before you go to the next part, one of the things, and I just had this talk with a lady that came to my house yesterday. A lot of people, there's a lot of hype on, my cholesterol needs to be below this certain number, and you need to do things to keep it lower. But there are two things specifically. I mean, cholesterol has a lot of good function in your body, but two specifically, your body needs cholesterol to produce hormones to function. Your brain needs cholesterol to function. My cholesterol usually is, in the like 180. I mean, it's last time I had it, I think it was 184 last time I had it tested. And my cholesterol is really good, but I would really personally like to see mine up. So I'm increasing some of the fats and stuff I'm doing just to help get my brain and stuff functioning back together, because I feel like it is sluggish. But cholesterol is made out to be the enemy,
right?
And it's not.
Right. And oftentimes, and something that I tell my clients too, whenever they're dealing with high levels of cholesterol, is that cholesterol is there to help your body whenever it's under inflammation. And so if your cholesterol is elevated, that's because it's doing its job. It's also helping.
And it's also a sign of toxin transport. When you're detoxifying, cholesterol takes toxins out of the body, which that's something I learned going through this with my brother.
Yeah, so it's definitely not necessarily a bad thing. So we're also looking at what kind of signs and stuff are you looking for to know if your hormones are out of balance? It can definitely contribute to migraines. So if you're someone who suffers from migraines, it could definitely be a hormonal imbalance. We've seen that with people who have, progesterone that's not where it needs to be.
Estrogen dominant.
Yeah, estrogen dominant. Also having a lot of trouble with sleeping. If you have insomnia, if you have osteoporosis, or if that's something that's a concern, that can also contribute. Weight gain, obviously, hot flashes, mood swings, infertility, low libido, and then you can, talk about like the mood swings as far as like if it's like easy to fly off the handle, type of stuff.
Road rage.
Have the way you handle stress. Do you have a really hard time whenever, do you get anxiety type of stuff? And then, just sometimes you may see it with other things that are going on. It just may exacerbate stuff, And then, you may have a hard time like working on difficult tasks of keeping the system in balance, so stress, poor diet, your food choices, inadequate sleep, taking synthetic hormones, genetic factors can also be a factor.
And even doing things that like with xenoestrogens and that will cause your body to develop hormones the wrong way. A lot of plastics, air fresheners. I mean, we talk a lot about having a chemical-free home or detoxifying. your body. But one of the main ways that you need to address that too is getting some of the junk out of your house.
Right.
If you have, you know, I'm all about small business and stuff, but the Scentsy stuff is very harmful. A lot of those candles and stuff, they have formaldehyde and petroleum products, things that you're inhaling, and they're going through your body by you walking, touching, inhaling them. Those are big hormone disruptors.
Right. And exercise, you know, if you're not moving much, that also has an effect on, you know, what your hormones are doing. So, you know, moving can definitely help. So it is a balancing act. It's not just like using supplements to do it, but it is also changing products that you're using that could be hormone inhibitors, as well as affecting your hormones. It could be, you know, foods you're eating, the types of foods you're eating. It could be lack of activity. So, you know, baby steps as to where you want to start. We're going to help you, you know, with looking at different things that you can do. So we're going to start with Thyromine. It is a supplement. Let me just tell you what is in it first, and then I'm going to let Melissa kind of explain how it works. So essential oils that are in it, it has spearmint, it has peppermint, it has myrtle and myrrh, and those are the oils that are in it. So spearmint helps with your digestive system and your respiratory system.
And metabolism.
And metabolism, yeah. And peppermint's going to help with your digestive system as well, by supporting healthy intestinal function and gastrointestinal comfort. It also supports the nervous and respiratory systems, as well as healthy muscles, bone, and skin. Now, myrtle is a awesome little oil to have handy, but it also supports the respiratory system and promotes healthy skin and hair, and it's been researched with its effects supporting the glandular balance as well. And then myrrh is a powerful antioxidant and helps with healthy skin also. And you can, you know, do some research on these oils as individuals to see all the great benefits.
Yeah, because there are a lot.
Yeah.
And so, you know, even taking them in the supplements, you're going to get benefits outside of what this supplement's geared for.
Right.
So I started taking Thyromine probably 4 or 5 years ago. And my whole life, you know, my mom would give us supplements and things to take. I could take a handful and swallow them, no problem. Well, over the years, I started noticing I would choke on them. I would have a little bit of, not difficulty, but just like swallowing became kind of weird. And then I got to where I could only take like 3 or 4 at a time, and then it was down to 1 or 2, and then they would get caught in my throat, and then I got nervous, kind of anxious about taking supplements. And I went to, I think Deborah Rayburn or somebody taught that I went to and said Thyromine was really good for supporting the endocrine system. Taking in the morning was really good to help beneficial for the adrenals, and then taking it at night is more beneficial for the thyroid. And in the morning, I do a lot. I'm not real good about taking stuff first thing in the morning, but I'm good at taking stuff at night. So I started taking it, and I started taking 2 at night. The first thing I noticed was really my sleep. Was a little bit better. And I you know, track my sleep and kind of watch what I do with supplements on that. But the main thing where it really got my attention is all of a sudden I realized I could swallow without any problem. And again, I started taking this, which adrenal usually needs to be supported before the thyroid. Once you have thyroid problems, your adrenals are already past, like they're already struggling. And so I realized, oh my word, and then it clicked. It was the Thyromine that helped me. And as long as I'm taking it, I don't have any trouble swallowing at all.
Awesome.
I try to take it in the morning some now still, or, you know, mid-morning, because I do feel like, especially this last year, I do feel like my adrenals need some support. And I'm big on minerals and digestive, you know. You need to make sure your digestive is functioning so that you get maximum benefit.
And I'm one of the ones that takes it in the morning. And I noticed a huge difference. And at the beginning, like I said, I was suffering from having to drag myself out of bed in the mornings and like literally yawning within an hour of being awake, but I felt like I slept great. Like I slept hard as a rock for 8 hours. But so this helped me in the sense of adrenal function, and everything.
One thing that people ask me, and I want to get this before we go too further, is, well, why do we need supplements? Can't we get it from food? You can make major changes by removing bad things from your diet. But unfortunately, the way our soil's depleted, stuff being picked too early, I mean, all the things that come into our produce, where especially you hear this a lot with vegetarians and vegans, and I'm not knocking that. I eat real food, well-rounded. I don't really eliminate a lot of things, but you're not getting the nutrients from food. Probably 12 years or so ago, maybe more, we did a class when I lived in Texas. So it was, 15 years ago, 16. And a lady came and spoke to us, and she said the amount of boron that you used to get in one apple, you had to have 4 to get that amount. Now, I'm sure that's even worse now.
Right.
Because you just don't get the boron from them because they're picked so early, but our soil doesn't have any nutrients, which is one of the things I love about the Seed to Seal is they test the soil, they rotate their crops, they rest the land, all, biblical even mindset towards looking at caring for the land, so that the plants and the supplements and stuff that you get through Young Living, your oils and stuff, have the highest quality and quantity of the compounds that you need. And that's huge. So you can't just supplement your way to health, but you definitely are going to make a difference. But you can't anymore do it with just food.
All right, so this it's actually created to help regulate your body's metabolism, your energy, your body temperature. That's all stuff that your thyroid is supposed to do. It controls calorie burning and even your heart rate. So if you're having, issues with, heart rate racing and stuff like that, it's going to help to regulate that. So this is 2 capsules, right? 2 capsules.
2 at night. If you're just doing one or the other, then 2. If you're just doing adrenals, you can start with 1, but I think the recommended dose on the bottle is 2. I didn't bring it with me, so I'm not sure, or at night before bed.
And
or
so
1 and 1.
This supplement contains iodine, which if you know anything about iodine, you know that you need iodine to allow your thyroid to function properly. And then it has the, how do I say that? Porcine glandular extracts. So that's L-cysteine and L-cysteine, and which are your thyroid needs to create the hormones. And so by consuming this supplement and having a healthy lifestyle, you can support both your metabolism and your thyroid. And I mentioned the 4 essential oils that are in it, which we mentioned already, helps your body to absorb the supplement.
Now, other than I don't know that you can really find a good supplement for your adrenals and thyroid that doesn't have glandulars in it.
Right.
I mean, and so a lot of people who are like, well, I can't take it because I'm vegan, or I don't like, pork, that you're really limited on what you can do, and we learned that, going through that with some of the stuff with Gerson. You really need the glandulars to rebuild, especially if you're in adrenal fatigue. You've got to have that to rebuild them.
You can, of course, the Ningxia Nitro has a good amount of iodine in it.
Oh yeah.
And so that's a good place to start too.
And
if that's a concern.
Yeah, that is. I forgot about that one.
All right, so let's talk about Cortistop here. So we'll just kind of.
Cortistop is one that you can only take for a season at a time, then rest.
It's like take for 2 weeks and then take a break,
it's
right?
8 weeks.
Or 8 weeks.
It's 8 weeks.
Longer than I thought.
You can do, and you'll notice, I think if you're in a place where you're taking your body through healing, on average, it takes about 4 months for tissue to heal. So this is not, in my opinion, this is something, if you're at the point like I'm at, or really struggling with really high cortisol, this is something you need to do for the 8 weeks. Take the time off, let your body rest, and then I would do a second session of it.
And so, it's called Cortistop. This is to help with your cortisol hormone. It's to help, bring it to balance and everything. So this is what our body responds to stress.
The flight or fight mode that we get into.
Right.
It's important. You need it during times of stress, but when you're stressed all the time and you're producing it all the time, that's where you see like the belly weight. That's where you see the disruption with your sleep patterns. That's where you see a lot of the problems. And surprisingly, when I pulled my blood work, I was telling Candace where we started, mine's not that high, and I expected it to be through the roof.
Right. So you'll experience feelings of fatigue, difficulty maintaining a healthy weight, difficulty maintaining optimal health of your cardiovascular system as well. Those are some of the symptoms of having elevated cortisol. And, you know, it's going to help support your body maintaining a natural balance and harmony. So as you take it, you know, the hopes there are that you see that you feel more calming, you know, you're able to react to stress a lot in a healthier manner. You know, weight should be able to come off if you're having difficulty in that midsection. You should wake up feeling way more rested, not wake up feeling like you didn't get an ounce of sleep. You know, like I said, not feeling like you're on edge all the time. Feeling a lot more emotionally balanced as well.
One of the things you want to do too is you want to listen to your body as you start doing supplements and stuff. I encourage people all the time to keep like a journal on moods, foods, sleep, and poop. Those are the 4 things. And really track that stuff. And you will figure out in a matter of weeks what works for you, what doesn't. Like cortisol, I take at night. And it will knock me out. But my friend Ashley, she takes it 1 at night, 1 in the morning. And it really helped her from the agitation and the anxious part. She takes it in the morning, and she learned that. And so paying attention to like how your body responds, you learn what works for you and what doesn't.
And I do better taking it in the morning. If I take it at night, I notice that I have a little bit of hard time going to sleep. That's just because my cortisol levels were kind of backwards at the time.
Can't be like everybody else
right now. I have to be odd. So this one though has fennel and peppermint. It has clary sage, it has Canadian fleabane, and it also has frankincense in it. And like Melissa mentioned, you can take 2 capsules in the morning before breakfast, or if you want to, take extra, you can do 2 capsules before going to bed as well. And you'll use it daily for 8 weeks, and then you'll stop and discontinue it for 2 to 4 weeks. And then you can do it again and see how your body's responding to it. So that is really helpful. You know, especially if your cortisol is all over the place. You know, mine was extremely low in the mornings, so that's why I was having a hard time getting out of bed. And then it was really low really the first part of the day, and then super elevated you know, afternoon and nighttime. That's the way mine was, because I did the saliva test, right? That's when I'm home with my children. So the saliva test.
Girls don't stress you out like boys do. That's a lie. One of the things too, I just thought of that before I started being smart aleck. It's gone. Oh, consistency. That's what I was going to say. So if you start this and you do it 3 or 4 days and you're like, oh, I don't notice anything, you've got to be consistent and try. I mean, I would say commit to at least 4 weeks doing it, because you're going to notice some differences initially, but to get the full benefit, you really need to do it the 8 weeks, and you need to do it consistently. I mean, we're all going to miss a night here or there or whatever, but you know, a lot of people will buy stuff, try it for 2 or 3 days and go, yeah, it didn't work. It's so supplements are different than things that put out the red warning lights in your body. You know, this is not going to negate like the check engine light that comes on in your body. What it's going to do is it's going to start, like she said, putting your body back in balance, homeostasis, which is what you're looking for.
So then on to Energize.
You already changed it.
So this is created specifically.
No, it's for both.
For the entire endocrine system. So we're looking at, you know, the entire endocrine system here. Something that's awesome about Energize is that it has DHEA in it. And DHEA is something that our body does produce, but by the age of 20, it's on its decline. And unless you're doing something specifically or taking a supplement, you cannot increase it. So we have to do something. DHEA actually helps you produce your hormones, so you need
brain
it.
function.
Yeah, so you need it. So it's cool because Endogize actually has DHEA in it. And so I just kind of, explain that. It's needed to produce over 50 other hormones that also include estrogen. So, while the majority of people are estrogen dominant, there's stages in our life where estrogen plummets. So it's always good to kind of know where you're at, like get a hormone panel done, kind of find out where you're at. You may have done some before, so you may kind of know how you feel whenever things are a certain way. But it's always good to have that done so you kind of know where you're at.
It is. And the other thing too, because I know a lot of people that I work with are like, okay, I can't just, they don't have insurance or insurance isn't going to cover it. And sometimes it's a little hard to step off and do that.
Yeah.
The testing for hormones can
be pricey,
have a price tag to it. But these are not going to hurt you. The thing I like about oils and supplements is they're not going to take your body to the extreme or out of balance like something synthetic will. And I love this part with it. She has in there about don't confuse common with normal.
Right.
And that's what you find out all the time. And, just for instance, like 40 years ago, a lot of the things that we deal with weren't even here. I was talking to somebody the other day about, all these things that are cropping up in her life and her family's life. And I was like, when I was a kid, we didn't have any of that stuff. So you have to really step back and look at the broader picture. What's causing it? What's causing all the hormone disruption? And toxins are the number one thing.
Our food.
We didn't have childhood cancers and stuff. Like it's rampant now. 40 years ago, a lot of this stuff didn't even exist. They're, spraying your foods with pesticides. You've got, I don't remember what the number was, but it's astronomical, the amount of new chemicals that are introduced a year. I mean, it was in the thousands.
Yeah.
And we were talking about like Young Living on just for women, since we're talking about women on their cosmetics, they ban over 2,500 chemicals that are standard in most cosmetics and lotions and all that. And Young Living bans them.
Right.
So the U.S.
only bans
13 or 15,
yeah.
some ridiculously
only 13. Number. Whenever you go over to Europe, it's up in the 1,500 range that they ban. So buying cosmetics here is not that great for you, unless you have a company like Young Living who's going to ban those and not stoop down to those levels to make it, and cheap, but it's still very, very cost effective, I think, because that's all I use.
Well, I mean, when they add that stuff, that's what they're doing. If they add those synthetic chemicals and stuff in there, it cheapens the process because doing plant-based or real things is not cheap.
Right.
I mean, it's not out of budget or crazy expensive, but it definitely, when you can make something for 13 cents versus $13,
right,
and your profit margin, and the money talks in a lot of things.
So adrenal glands, we're talking about the Endogize and supporting the endocrine system as a whole, and the adrenal glands are located on the top of each of your kidneys.
Right.
The hormones that they produce help to regulate your blood sugar and your blood pressure, and they help your body burn fat and use protein. So that's super important. They also release cortisol, your stress hormone, and supporting these glands, that's your overall cardiovascular health, that you're helping to support your metabolism, your weight management, your body's ability to manage your stress and maintain your energy as well. Endogize is also infused with essential oils. We have mentioned this and we're going to continue to mention it. It increases your absorption rate to 80% of the supplement that you're using.
Which that makes sense. If you're going to take something, you want to get as much possible for your body to take in and utilize and benefit from it. And I mean, it should be that way with everything we ingest, but it's not.
So Endogize has clary sage in it. So if you know anything about clary sage, that is used to help balance the hormones as a whole. Ginger is supportive with the digestive system. It's also used to soothe and comfort, as well as balance digestive discomfort.
It's great for inflammation. It's got anti-inflammatory product. I mean, ginger's a phenomenal.
It has myrrh in it, which stimulates the immune system. It's an amazing oil as well. And cassia. So a lot of people probably maybe haven't even used cassia, haven't heard of it. It's a family of the cinnamon plants. It smells like cinnamon. It's very it's hotter than your cinnamon bark oil if you have it. I think so.
Oh, I don't.
But supports healthy blood sugar levels. So, it's a good one to use.
I mean, that it's super beneficial for that. Okay, so this one says, take 1 capsule twice daily, use for 4 weeks, discontinue 2 weeks before resuming. So I would definitely, and you look at the instructions on the bottle.
Yep. Always check that out. You can actually, before even ordering, you can look at the suggested uses on the website, and it will tell you all that.
There's
if you have
tabs
any questions
below the product where you can click on them, and it'll have the ingredients, it'll have the usage, and the information there below it.
All right, so we're going to talk about one more supplement, and it's called Fimogen.
Now, years ago, a naturopath that I was working with, I felt like because I use progestins. Like I started using Progestins Plus, which we'll talk about this in a minute, but I started using that for when I was started going through menopause early, and stress actually kicked me. I went through a divorce and kicked me from being hormonally right, I guess, best way to, or imbalance, whatever, into full-blown menopause within a year. Yeah. And then it was crazy. And so using that, I had messaged her and started talking to her about, I felt like my progesterone was a little high. And so she recommended me doing some Fimogen to help just kind of equal up and balance. And it really was beneficial. I actually need to probably do it again. I've got some in my cabinet.
So this actually has wild yam in it. And if you're not familiar with Progestins Plus, that is how the natural progesterone is created. It's from wild yams, so it has natural progesterone. You have black cohosh, other stuff that I'll probably butcher.
Demand, which I'm not sure, but I don't know how you say that. Epidemium, black, and blue cohosh.
And so those herbs contain phytoestrogens. They're dietary estrogens. That's why they're called that.
And they occur naturally. They're not xenoestrogens or synthetic driven.
These occur within plants. And so they support your body's own ability, or your body's estrogen in your body. So estrogen helps bring physical changes that occur during puberty. It also helps to control the menstrual cycle. It's important for childbearing. It also keeps cholesterol under control. It protects bone health for women and men. It also affects your brain, your mood, your bones, your heart, your skin, and other tissues.
So it contains 4 essential oils that are good for the female reproductive system. The clary sage, which we've talked about. And again, that helps maintain the balance between your estrogen and progesterone levels. Ylang ylang. Is that how you say that?
Yes.
Okay, because that's how I've always said it. Somebody said it different the other day. I was like, I'm going to check that. Which is really good for the adrenal glands. It's also got cardiovascular benefits. Yeah. It's really good for that.
It's very uplifting as well.
It is. It smells good. Fennel, which is good for circulatory, glandular, respiratory, and digestive. So, and missed one.
Sage.
But one thing I want to tell you about fennel, the oil, which this is kind of off topic, but I watched this video from another leader, and she said fennel is really good for putting on the face. You can do it with or without a carrier, for reducing pore size.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah, we like that.
Yeah.
We like that.
So sage helps maintain the balance. Oh, that's the one. I read the wrong one. Clary sage to help support the female body. And then sage is also in there, which helps the balance between estrogen and progesterone, testosterone balance.
So something I want to mention here, a lot of people don't necessarily understand how all this works. So when estrogen gets really, really high, what it actually does is it blocks your your production of progesterone. So that's why we oftentimes hear you're estrogen dominant, is because it's blocking that production. So oftentimes one hormone will be really high and the other ones will be low because it's blocking the production of the other ones. My testosterone was also super low, which I was shocked at because I work out so much doing weightlifting and stuff like that. But you know, sometimes that's kind of what's going on, is one is like just overpowering the other ones from being able to produce and balance out. Just like a little tip here too, sclerescence is a great little blend that has clary sage in it. And
did you ever
it's
watch
a good
that,
complement.
Watch that webinar where she talks about putting it on your stomach in the mornings?
I don't think so.
I have to find that, but daily, the sclerescence, putting that on your stomach in the mornings for women is supposed to be extremely beneficial.
And I love to put it on my face at night. Like I just mix it in with my serum and I put it on my face at night. And I mean, I sleep so good whenever I use sclerescence, and it smells great too. I love it. But it just gives me that kind of grounding and calming as well. So I do use it on a regular basis. So what you're seeing now is Progessence Plus.
Low libido.
Yeah.
You need this one.
Yeah. So this one, there, you know, you can also, you know, look up some stuff. Dr. Dan Purser helped create this serum, and it is plant-based, and it is a serum. So it's made from wild yam extract. Progesterone is your hormone that is produced in the body, and it regulates your menstrual cycle, and it's crucial for pregnancy. So if you have super low progesterone, you know, you're going to
have a miscarriage.
Yeah, you're going to suffer from infertility, possibly miscarriages and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's been linked to that. It's even been, I've seen some recent stuff come out too, that people that struggle with like the pain, like the displaced pain or muscle pain and stuff like that, and grinding your teeth, tinnitus, all are now linked to low progesterone.
Yeah, which makes sense because I have issues with tension in my jaw. So as we age, you know, it's a natural process that progesterone decreases in production. And so this is super beneficial to use whenever, you know, you're thinking of starting a family, you know, or even after 30 years of age. I'm 40. So, and I even have one of my cousin's daughters who was having major cycles, like discomfort and stuff like that, that just a couple days before she would start her cycle, and they would feather it up her spine, and that made night and day difference in her cycles to where it wasn't so painful and discomfort and all that kind of stuff. So it's good. Like, she doesn't use it daily, but she used it during her cycle a couple days before it started.
We have a common friend who, and I'm not going to say her name because she may not want me to tell the story. It's not mine to tell, but she had to the point of vomiting, migraine headaches. I mean, it would literally, before and the first day of her period, would put her to bed 24 hours. And so that, what she's talking about, putting it up the spine and feathering it up, I had told her that. A friend of mine who's a naturopath did that with her daughter. Made a huge difference. So I had told her husband and stuff, I said, you know, if this, call me. I don't care if it's in the middle of the night. I'll come over and do it. And saying that because this is something that is a female only product. You don't want your husband putting it on you. You know, if you don't have anybody who can put it on your spine, put it in your belly button. And use it till you feel better. And so sure enough, 10:30 at night, my phone rings and, hey, she's having this issue. Can you come over? And I think I did like 20 or 22 drops on the spine, put them up there and waited 30 minutes. I mean, she went to sleep, waited 30 minutes. She didn't wake up. And I said, if she wakes back up, call me. I'll come back over. They didn't live far from my house. And that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, and from that point forward had really good. And so she would maintain on 2 to 4 drops, you know.
Yeah.
I do. I haven't been using it as much lately, which I definitely need to get back in the habit of doing that. But I maintain when I'm doing it on, you know, 3 or 4 drops once a day at night before bed. I do it on my carotid artery. If I have more weight on my middle, I probably, because cortisol and whatever, but I have more weight there. So if you're thinner like Candace, you can put it in your belly button. There's a lot of good benefits to putting any oils in your belly button, but that on my mom, that's what we would put it on her. You can do it on the back of the neck, back of the knees, your wrist, inside your elbow. Oops, there, you can see inside on your elbow. Anywhere where you have good blood flow. Carotid's really easy for me, so that's where I put it.
And keep in mind, this is a natural progesterone. It's not a synthetic hormone. When we think of the synthetics, they tell you to rotate. You can't apply it in the same place day after day,
right.
Or it's not going to work effectively, or, that kind of stuff. Synthetic versions of progesterone sold, by pharmaceutical companies, taking synthetic hormones can be really, really bad for you, can lead to really bad side effects and stuff like that.
Stroke.
So, you want to work on using natural ones as much as possible. This also contains copaiba, sacred frankincense, cedarwood, bergamot, peppermint, and clove essential oils. They're all calming. They're all grounding. If you're having discomfort, like from cramping and stuff like that, apply it to your stomach. It's great for that. And like Melissa said, there's all kinds of different ways that you can use it. There's really not like a specific way that you have to use it. You would not diffuse this. It's a serum, so applying it topically, that's how you should use it.
No, I'd even just put it on my face as a face serum. I've done that before. And if you're pregnant, you don't really need it.
Unless your progesterone is low.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of those that, you have.
Which at that point you need to.
The doctor would most likely put you on a progesterone, like a sublingual or something like that. But if they have the bioidentical, natural hormones and stuff like that.
I would still do this for me. I would do this, but again,
right.
You have to decide what's right for you and what you want to use.
So, there's also, we want to talk about some complementary essential oils that are good, that will complement the supplements, that support the endocrine system for happy hormones. Dragon Thyme is one of those blends. Melissa can kind of talk about Dragon Thyme a little bit.
Dragon Thyme, she has boys, so she doesn't know what it's like that time of the month when you have 3 girls on their period at the same time. I'm just going to throw that out there because it's like Medusa. But Dragon Thyme, especially when it was just Marley. Marley was one, like our friend who would, and hers isn't every month, but what I've noticed is she lives in a different environment now where they do candles. They do things like that. She gets headaches a lot more often. But Dragon Thyme at home, every 2-3 months, she would have cramps. She would get, she'd get snippy and be like, you better go put on some Dragon Thyme. I'm going to hurt you. So I've noticed, like, I would start tracking like before my girls started, I would know that it was coming. And so we would use Dragon Thyme. And this is when you can diffuse, because one of my kids is like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like the way that smells.
Yeah.
Which in my mind, I'm like, oh, you really need it.
Right.
So I would diffuse it in the car when we would go places. And my friend Lisa would do the same thing when her daughter was doing this. And I would diffuse it in the car or put it on a little car diffuser and stick it in the vent. And it'd just be like attitudes would change.
Yeah.
So it's super beneficial.
So think
calming.
about, that moodiness that can come with your cycle.
Dragon Thyme.
Dragon Thyme. That's why it's named that. So this contains fennel. You have clary sage. You have marjoram, lavender. You have blue yarrow. You also have jasmine essential oils together. So it's kind of a sweet and herbaceous kind of scent put together. I smell more of the herbs in it
I do too.
Than anything else.
And if you get the munchies that time of the month, one thing I did notice with my girls, I haven't seen this like claimed anywhere or written down anywhere, but one of the things I noticed with my girls is that emotional eating. This really helped with that.
Right.
It really kind of helped with the, I don't feel good, I want to go eat, or those cravings of wanting to just emotional eating. It really helped.
Every now and then, I still deal with this. It's not every single month, but sometimes I'm like, I want to eat everything in sight and I cannot control this. Like, it's like, I just, whatever I have, whatever I can get my hands on, I'm just eating. And I'm like, what's going on?
This helps
And then next thing you know, 2 days later, start. So, so this is good for young amateur women. You apply it on your tummy. You can apply it on your low back. It helps the soothing and all that kind of stuff. And like Melissa said, diffuse it, smell it, that type of stuff. Now we've talked a little bit about clary sage already. This is a single oil. It, definitely helps with that low libido if you have that issue. Most of us deal with that especially after having children. Deal with that. So, that's just something, you can apply it to the inner part of the ankle, the heel, like I said earlier. You can do that on a daily basis. I love the way clary sage smells as well. It's very calming. It can help you sleep at night too. So it's something that has multiple purposes. It's very uplifting, kind of a joyful kind of smell to me. It's great for helping to improve your brain function also. Mm-hmm. And it's also found in lady sclerol, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Mm-hmm. Or sclerosins. Sclerosins is the one that it's in.
Oh, yeah.
But they're, you kind of look at the different ones and everything and see what you think. This is a good one, too, like that time of the month we haven't even mentioned, but you could add these to your Epsom salt bath and do a soak.
Absolutely.
That would really, really help if you're having low back pain, if you're cramping, any of that kind of stuff, to soothe all of that and help like flush things out.
And if you're married and you should look at some of the Lucy Libido stuff, mm-hmm. because she has some recipes that have things like that will that you can kind of crank things up a notch, so to speak, in the bedroom. Which, if you don't believe me, just post that question in our group and you'll get a lot of
there's your book.
You'll get a lot of testimonies.
You can look that up. It's a fun read, has a lot of great info in there, a lot of different DIYs even, for like lubricants and different things that you can make for those things that maybe we hadn't thought about. That may not be made very.
Doesn't she have a pregnancy baby one now too? Didn't she come out with a second book?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I've seen that.
I'm thinking she's got a second.
But every year she runs a Facebook group that runs and over the course of like a week or so, and introduces a new oil and all these different ways that you can use it and what it's good for, and even oils for men.
And it gets kind of comical.
Yeah, it is very comical, especially when you start talking about goldenrod.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about lady sclerol. So this one is only available through Young Living, was created specifically for women. It contains jasmine, bergamot, geranium, orange, and some other
clary
oils that are in it.
Ylang-ylang, sandalwood, Spanish sage, jasmine, Idaho blue spruce, spearmint, and hinoki.
Awesome. So it does have clary sage.
Coriander.
And coriander.
Yeah, which I love coriander.
Awesome. All right, so this one helps to enhance your feminine nature. It's, a very like seductive oil. You can wear it as perfume. It also helps get you in the mood. You can diffuse it. It's very relaxing and calming, helps to balance your heart and mind. You can apply this one to your skin if you want to.
Some of her names in here. I gotta read this.
So
I'm gonna get sidetracked.
You can get that. We're talking about balancing hormones, but if you need some help in the libido area, Lucy Libido is a good book to get.
Or if your husband is like, "Why do you keep buying all those essential oils?" Get this book, and he will be your biggest customer.
Yes. Shoetron was amazing for my husband.
Yeah.
We'll do another class on that. How about that?
Yeah.
So Endoflex. Vitality or Endoflex, the solid color label. This one's really good. I like to apply it right over the thyroid gland on the neck. You can also do a drop under the tongue if you're using the Vitality oil. This one has spearmint, it has sage, it has geranium, myrtle, nutmeg, and German chamomile. So this one, you think helps support the endocrine system. That means healthy, happy hormones. You could,
you can actually do it over your adrenals too, to help if you're,
Apply
you know,
over.
if you're looking for an oil. Nutmeg's another good one. What's the other one? Energy. But
Yep.
Endoflex is good to put over the topical over your adrenals also, and it has a really good smell.
Oh yeah,
I use it.
I enjoy the smell.
And did you know that under the tongue is still considered topical?
Yes.
Okay. So Vital, and remember, just reiterate this. I know we said this in the beginning, but the labels are just for labeling directions. The oils in the bottles are exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Just one is topical aromatic,
Mm-hmm.
the other one is internal supplemental.
And just another cool little tip is, you know, obviously one of them's a 5 milliliter bottle and another one's a 15 milliliter bottle. So if there's multiple things that you need at once and you're having a hard time fitting it all in your budget, look at the Vitality oils.
Mm-hmm.
You can get multiple things. You know, you're roughly looking at 100 drops in a Vitality bottle. It's 5 milliliter to 250 to 300 in the bigger bottles. So it's totally up to you, but it is a cost-effective way of getting multiple things at once if it's something that you're looking to make changes to and apply to your daily routine. Sclerosants, I mentioned that one earlier. It contains clary sage, peppermint, Spanish sage, and fennel. Helps support the digestive. I don't know how many of y'all deal with like weird digestive stuff going on when your cycle starts.
I do.
But I do. So that is great to know. Helps reduce your bloating, that type of stuff. And just the weird kind of stuff that goes on whenever you're starting your cycle.
Yeah, one of my kids gets bloated the day before, and I mean, has to the point that they have a trouble having a bowel movement.
Yeah.
And this or the Dragon Time have both been really beneficial to help offset that.
So if you guys have any questions, feel free, you know, to comment, ask questions, any of that kind of stuff. So if you're already a member, you can log on to your account. You can, you know, do a one-time order. You can do an Essential Rewards order. Definitely recommend you get on Essential Rewards because you're earning cash back on every dollar you spend.
I have 280 ER points I'm fixing to redeem today.
So you can redeem your points that you earn. You can get free products. This is stuff, you know, that you know, you can buy for your home and all that kind of stuff. The starter kit is a great way to get started. You get 24% off of all products that you purchase. This is for a lifetime membership. Your kit is over 50% off of the total of everything that you're getting in it, which is the biggest discount you're going to get, even if you're
the only thing that Young Living puts on that big of a discount.
Yeah. And so everything else you purchase, it's a wholesale discount of 24%. When you add in that ER order, that's even more of a discount because of the percentage that you earn back. We'll talk about that. But you can start out at a basic membership, especially let's just say you're wanting to create a kit for these hormone things. So you could do a $45 basic kit, and then you could add on Riman, cortisol, get some of those oils that are for balancing the hormones, and you can create your own kit that way.
But we also have, like, we have the makeup kit, we have the thieves kit, we have the Ninja kit. Rumors are they're getting ready to introduce a couple of new ones. So, you know,
there's several different. Browse, do the drop down menu whenever you go to the sign up link. We'll post that for you if you have any questions. But, you know, we're kind of talking about Essential Rewards. So Essential Rewards, you start out earning 10% back on your purchase. And then on month 4, it bumps up to 20% back. And then after 2 years of being on it, 24 months, you're going to earn 25% back. That's more than whenever I started.
Me too.
So I'm at that 25% mark.
How long have you been on ER?
Oh, like, shoot, 3 years or so.
Yeah, I'm fixing to hit 9 years.
Yeah. So
I've never done
probably more. Yeah, probably more. So your starter kit is the first step to supporting your health. And then your ongoing journey is, you know, customizing your wellness box every single month with Essential Rewards.
Like replacement buying.
Yes. Replacement buying. Replace the household products that you use to clean with, your hand soaps, your skincare.
Things that are full of toxins.
Yeah, things that you're buying from big box stores already that you can now swap over. As they run out, you can replace. and put yourself on that, write a little list of the next thing you want to get back. So,
well, and some of the things too, like this can all be overwhelming when you start. And one of the things I tell people is, by all means, call one of us, set up 15-20 minute phone call with one of us, but make a list first of like what your priority is. Is it to detoxify your home? Is it to detoxify your body? Is it to feel better, sleep better, whatever? And we can help you develop a plan from start to say 90, 120 days of ways, because remember 4 months for tissue to heal, but where you say, okay, this is my budget, this is what I'm going to do, and help you maximize your savings.
Yes.
And make a plan.
Yeah. So ER has a requirement of ordering a minimum of 50 PV. That's pretty much a $50 amount each month. So that's all you have to order each month. If you go up to 100 PV though, that's when Young Living's monthly promos start. So they come up with new promos every single month, and you can earn free gifts with
so this
that.
month, the $100, I think, is peppermint.
Yes.
So each month it changes. So at the 100 PV, they're going to throw in, for people on ER, they're going to throw in a free oil, and it changes every month.
Changes every month. It goes up to different levels. So the more you order, the more you get back that you don't pay for, that they send you.
This month for the 300 PV order, the total of the freebies are 265 PV, I think. So I mean, they definitely make it
a lot of the time it like equals what you're spending. The higher you go, like if you're spending that, let's just say $300 value, you're going to get almost $300 back or more in those products. So it definitely makes sense. Plus your points that you're earning. So you will also be eligible under Essential Rewards for kits that are cheaper to buy that way. That are only available to people that are a part of Essential Rewards. You also get free gifts. These are loyalty gifts that they give you for months 3, 6, 9, and a year. They come out with a loyalty blend for each year that you're on Essential Rewards as well, that you receive in the mail. You also get cheaper shipping rates, and there's also something called YL Go or YL Go Plus, which is a lot like Amazon Prime. So you're going to get 2 to 3 day shipping, so quicker shipping turnaround. And you can, also if you're on YL Go Plus, you can do one-time orders that will be free shipping. So that's definitely, do the math. It's definitely cheaper to do YL Go than to pay for your shipping each time you order. You can change your products in your cart every month. Customize what you need every single month.
You can change your date if you need to.
You
if
can
something
change your
comes
date.
up and you need to kick it till later in the month or earlier in
You're
the month.
going out of town, you need an order before you leave. You can have it processed. And there's a process today button. You can click it. And it won't actually change your date. It'll leave it the same, but it'll process that date. So those are all options. They're not choosing what you get. You're choosing what you get. So you can definitely do that. It's just that you can only do one ER order a month. So make sure you plan ahead. Make sure that you're looking at your stuff and you're not like, oh my gosh, I just realized I only have like 4 drops of Thieves left. I need more. Like plan ahead, check your stock, write down what you need,
and build a wellness cabinet. This time of year when everybody's like fighting cold and flu and all that stuff, and I don't have inner defense, or I don't have lemon oil, or I don't, they don't. Do you have any I can buy?
Right.
I do keep my stuff stocked, and I redeem my points for stuff as I need it. But the time to need it is not when you're sick. Because one, you don't feel like getting out, and I don't want what you have. People will call me and I'll set it on my front porch, but I just make them order and send it back to me. But that it's really, you need to be prepared. We just went through this with my daughter. She gave her stuff to somebody who needed it, and then we didn't reorder for her. And so when she was fighting, feeling better, she was out of inner defense. And out of nature. And those are 2 things. Inner defense, I keep 3 to 4 bottles on hand all the time. If I use one, I automatically go and put one on my next ER order.
That's like me. I'm always using Super B, always using my enzymes. I am not going to go without those things. I'm going to make sure I'm running low on it. It's on my next order, or I'm ordering an extra one just in case. And so, you know, just like the things that we love to use, cortisol is an amazing one. Thiamin, those supplements are awesome to work into your daily routine. You can do things to balance your hormones, to help you with the moods and all that kind of stuff. So we really appreciate you joining us.
Yes.
Let us know if you have any questions or if you want to talk more about the supplements and the oils that you need.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you. It's gonna be so bad. And I'm gonna have to run to get the kiddos.